Beehive Sports Podcast is powered by Swing Juice. Visit swingjuice.com and use promo code Beehive20 for 20% off your golf and MLB PA apparel. Swing Juice, wear it, feel it, play it. This week's episode, I have Mike Onorati filling in for Kylie. Say hi, Mike.
How's it going?
Like every week, we're going to start us off with the NFL and NCAA football weekend reactions. And we're days away from knowing who will be playing in the 2021 MLB Fall Classic, the World Series. 10 sports history facts will make their weekly appearance. And on the things that sting, Cowboys safety DeMonte Kazee is booked for DUI. Sean Taylor's jersey number retirement. But is it a simple misdirection? Spencer Rattler becomes the first major NIL case study, and in my hive, we have the mailbag with topics selected by you, the listeners. Let's go.
Welcome to the Beehive Sports Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joe Bees and Kylie Munch.
This week's opening segment is brought to you by Napoli's. Hungry watching the game? Call Napoli's at 814-723-7455. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Located in North Warren. Pickup or delivery available. So like I said, Mike Onorati sitting in today. Kylie is out for the week. We actually had a scheduling conflict where I'm on day shift and he's on afternoon shift. So there's zero way for us to meet.
Yep, that's a rough one.
Right. So
I'll do my best to replace it.
So we have, Mike's going to sit in and then provide some, a little side whack color commentary for all the good stuff we're about to bring to you. Three-bagger will happen, as always, after the show. And just remember, if you aren't able to tune in to the live or watch the live, the audio will be uploaded following the live, and it will be available wherever you listen, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google, wherever. Snake update. 52-0.
Not bad.
Now outscoring opponents 348-58.
I mean, you should have pumped those numbers up this week. 52's kind of took it easy.
It was, I don't know. It was a slow game.
Okay.
It was very slow. They huddled up every time, and we don't. But they huddled every time. It kind of takes,
Yeah. Well, it was a little sloppy morning, too, right? A little rain.
Yes.
Rain
It was shitty
not
out.
The best scoring.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't great. All right, so we're going to get on to our, normal NFL reactions here. So as soon as I can figure out where my banners are. Oh, we're getting them going right away. Urban Meyer. Oh, no, first, I'm sorry. There's one thing I wanted to note before we get into the games. Big retirement in pro football this weekend.
Really?
David Baker, the president of the Hall of Fame.
Really?
The big, huge guy.
Okay, yeah.
Who surprises all the players and is like,
I didn't see you retire.
You're getting inducted. He does those kick-ass videos.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, that was, that's kind of a big deal. He cited spending more time with his family because he's from California.
Okay.
And he has a bunch of, his hand in a bunch of side businesses. So David Baker. So it'll be interesting to see who they put into that position. I mean, it's always, it's a pretty important gig. He gets a lot of FaceTime, during
absolutely.
Come August and all that. So Urban Meyer, the Jags travel across the pond, their second home.
Yes.
They are they have played more home games there than anyone. They're 8 games. They're now 9 games. They're now 4 and 5.
Well, wasn't there some rumor that the owner was kind of pushing for that because he wants to get out of
Which I think the international permanent team is a terrible decision.
I agree.
But as long as they're putting the Jaguars over there all the time, I don't care.
Yeah.
The Bills have played there once.
Yeah, well,
against the Jaguars.
If you're putting the Jags over there, you're not really growing the sport. I don't think.
Right.
They're we just watch those guys kick the ball around.
They'll probably, the people of London, England would be more likely to be like, football's pretty terrible. Why do they like this so much?
Send Brady over there.
Right. So Urban gets his first win. Matthew Wright with the game-winning field goal. This is an interesting stat I saw during the game. When he made the field goal on the opening drive, Jacksonville's opening drive, it's the first field goal the Jaguars have made all year.
That's an impressive stat.
They were 0-4. 0-4 all season. Lambeau.
Okay.
Josh Lambeau. And that field goal that he made was the first one that they made all year. And, of course, the game winner later on. The Dolphins are an absolute train wreck.
Absolutely. And I mean, when you're looking at what Justin Herbert's doing right now, it makes it just that much worse.
It stings a little.
I like to rub that in a little bit.
Yeah. And now the rumor is going around that Deshaun that could be in motion within like a week.
I saw that. I mean,
I don't like the decision myself, but
it seems you don't like the decision because the Bills are in that division.
Well, no, I don't like it. But I don't think he's gonna make that big of a difference with the talent
line,
that they have around. Yeah, they don't have a line.
Line's terrible.
They don't have a lot of star power at skill positions.
Waddle's been okay.
Waddle has been good.
Yep, it's shockingly good.
And Parker, good when healthy.
Yep.
But actually, Gesicki, now that I think about it, he does have some weapons.
Gesicki's been good. They just don't use him.
Yeah, he had a pretty big game against the Jaguars. He was utilized a lot, but I don't like it because I just think the risk is too big right now when you don't know anything that's going on with his legal status. And is he going to be able to play? Is he going to go to jail?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
there's that you have to factor in.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the price of what it's going to cost you to bring him in. Or is it going to be a couple first still? Is it, a third round pick or something now? I don't know what the market is for a guy like that.
And, but yeah, so I noted on the banner here with Urban, I put Urban Meyer gets first win on or off the field because he's been taking L's just about everywhere he goes.
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
Well, it's a good point. Yeah. His wife probably looked at it like it was an L.
The family life looks at it like an L. But
yeah, but maybe some of his players were like, okay, Urban.
Good
yeah. So, that's good, though. They got their first W. And like I said, Dolphins are just in.
They're a mess.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to the Rams. Scorigami.
Scorigami.
Did you know it was a scorigami?
I did not know.
You know what a scorigami is?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. If anybody who's listening doesn't know what a scorigami is, it's a final score that has never happened in the recorded history of the NFL. 38-11 has never happened. So it is a scorigami. First one of the year.
Yeah, well, 11's a goofy number.
There's an entire website dedicated to just this.
Yeah.
Just scorigamis.
Yeah.
I should have looked up the total number. I don't remember. If anybody's listening, well, you are. I see you're listening. Get on Google and figure out how many scorigamis they've been. Put it in the comments. 28-point second quarter. Cooper Kupp.
He's good.
He's got to be in the MVP conversation.
He's good. It's hard for a receiver.
It's hard for a receiver, but really holy shit, he's second in the league in yards, first in touchdowns, and tied for first for receptions.
I feel
the guy's wide open all the time.
Well, I feel bad for Robert Woods owners everywhere because Cooper Kupp was definitely the guy to get there this year. I mean, he's been just amazing every week.
Well, and
every week.
Now that he has a guy who can actually get it to him on a regular, more consistent basis than Goff could.
He's almost as good as Deebo Samuel. I mean, he's entering the conversation.
Here's some the first Niners homer take of the day. We should start a counter for that. What about this week? I'm excited to watch the Rams game. You know who they play?
Yeah,
it's
a little revenge.
The return of Goff to LA.
It might look like a snake score.
It's not going to be good. Yeah, they're going to get destroyed. But it's just I like seeing the whole
it's
old team. It always brings a little bit of more of a story to it, so that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Moving on, the Ravens just absolutely beat the shit out of the Chargers. I almost said San Diego, which I constantly do. I don't believe that the Chargers have moved to LA.
It's your show. It's like
they're still the San Diego Chargers.
You can do whatever you want to do. I actually thought the Chargers might be the best team in the AFC. They've looked really sharp, and that was just for them to pound them like that shocked me.
1 for 4 on fourth down, and I believe Kylie in our group text was saying they went for it. Where?
On their own, 18, I believe it was, first drive of the second half. His take was all the Madden players, the Madden generation has started coaching.
And he's not wrong because, I know they're going off of analytics with all of this.
Yeah.
if you're likely to get it, if you're not. But I just remember, because I wasn't watching that game. I had other games on, and I just remember the score keep going across the bottom line, and every time it came through, the Ravens had scored, and I was just like, well, because that was one of my 3-bagger bets, because like you, I thought the Chargers were in a lot better shape. But like Kylie said, I don't think that score tells the difference of how far apart those two teams are, if they're far apart at all. It's more Staley rolling the dice, and if you don't succeed on going for those fourth downs early in the game on your own 18-yard line, then you could have the potential to lose big.
Recipe
You're
for
giving
disaster.
a team. You look at the total yards the Ravens had that game; it's super low.
Well, that's what I couldn't figure out. Lamar had like
100 and some yards. Not a great game.
And
One touchdown, 2 picks. Yeah, and they still smoked them.
Yeah, so I think that's definitely
because of the short field.
Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, I can kind of understand. You have the Ravens; they're a ball control team, and you're thinking, well, how many shots are we going to get the ball back? But you have Justin Herbert. Punt the ball, play a little defense, and let your star quarterback go at it.
Bobby Pring comments, new scoregami, Rams 86, Detroit 6 this weekend. Probably accurate. He also said, and that was something I meant to mention and I forgot, Matthew Wright, the kicker from the Jags, so going back to the Jags game real quick, he was drug tested following the game, and him and Myles Garrett exchanged tweets about our sleeveless days are over, and that's what Myles said is he's retiring sleeveless. Sleeveless Myles is retired because every time he doesn't wear an undershirt, he gets drug, and that's 2 weeks in a row for Garrett getting drug tested. He's fucking huge. Enormous. He's a freak for sure. All right, so we're gonna move it on to what's next on our list here. When we have some Browns fans tuning in, so they're not going to like this headline. If you have an issue with the headline, which is the Factory of Sadness strikes again,
we're back.
Take issue with my chief, Joe Sperveri. He is the one who created this headline. He doesn't know that, but he texted that to me, and I was like, yeah, it's a great headline for the Browns game. Injuries just piling up.
Yeah, I hate to pick on the Browns too much.
Yeah, me too.
Just because, you lost both your starting tackles, your top 2 running backs. Baker's banged up. Jarvis Landry's not playing. Although I will say, I think before the year I've said the Browns were overrated. I didn't think they were going to be as good as everyone was predicting them to be. And, right now they're basically in the basement of that division. But with that many injuries, I can't take too big of a win on that. I don't want to get my victory like that.
Yeah, Hunt going down, Baker going down. And this is not to take away to what the Cardinals did to them, because
Cardinals are good.
Kyler Murray was 20 for 30 with 229 yards and 4 touchdowns. I think I side a big time with Munch on this one, that I think the key factors to what you're missing in Cleveland right now is Wills and Conklin, because that offensive line is the anchor of that offense. I mean, and you could say that about any team, but with a team that's run heavy, they put Baker on their back a bunch of times. You have to question, does that happen if the line's at full health? And
it's definitely, that's something big to overcome. One starting tackle is tough. Two of them's rough. You're just going to be in for a bad day there.
So Baker ruled out for tonight against Denver, because they kick off here in about 2 hours. And actually, one of the people who are in the comments right now, Brian Campbell, who is predicting a 20-13 Browns win. He also said bees nuts and a bunch of other stuff. So Garrett drug tested again. That's what we already discussed. So, the Browns game tonight is going to be, well, from what I was reading, some of Brian, who, like I said, he's out there at the tailgate right now, has been for several hours. I can tell by some of his comments.
Okay, yep.
He tweeted that there was a bunch of tornado warnings going off out there too. So weather, again, how's it going to play a factor tonight? Who knows? Because at full health, I would say huge benefit. Cleveland, without full health, tough to say.
It'll be interesting. Correct. Yep.
So we're going to meet. I wish you could see these headlines, but you can't.
I know. I'm envisioning them.
Steelers beat a guy from 2017.
Yeah, and barely too. I mean, there's a chance.
Barely. So they snuck past Geno. Good looking first half.
Yep.
They kept the Seahawks out of the end zone. They looked good on both sides of the ball. Not great on offense, but they scored. They punched it in twice.
Better than what they've been.
But then, TJ saves the day, which is why they paid the guy. That's for sure.
He's a stud.
He's unbelievable.
He's really, really good.
I think this is, if he stays healthy and continues doing what he's doing, I think this is finally the year that he snags the
I agree.
defensive player of the year.
Yep.
He's just always making it. I mean, just some of the plays he's in on and just causing turnovers constantly. And the guy's a house. The Steelers have the Browns, the Bears, and the Lions coming up.
So
a 3-3. They went from 1-3, won 2 straight now, and 3 games coming up that are, well, aside from a healthy Browns, I would say that's not a winnable game for Pittsburgh.
If they're banged up, though,
it'll depend on what the Browns' health looks like for me.
This was another one of my predictions I said at the beginning of the year. As bad as I think the Steelers are, they're going to find a way. Something stupid will happen, and they will find a way to be in the hunt at the end of this thing.
I mean, look at this win, against the Seahawks. If Russell Wilson's
not hurt,
right,
I don't think they stand a chance.
So the other thing I wanted to discuss with this game was something that took place the following day. Started from a play that happened that night. Towards the end of the game, DK Metcalf catches that ball.
Oh.
Doesn't go out of bounds for whatever reason.
So stupid.
Fumbles it, and it's lucky Tyler Lockett was right there to pick it up. Or else that's a game. Then you don't have a shot at the tying field goal to go to OT. Then he has an exchange with Shannon Sharpe.
I saw that, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't wrap my head around the fact he was saying the things that he was saying.
He said he told Shannon Sharpe he could wipe his ass with his resume.
Well, okay, yeah, that's
a Hall of Famer with 3 Super Bowl rings. But the guy with purple hair, who, I mean, I would not say that to his face.
No, he would destroy both of us.
He's an absolute monster.
Shannon Sharpe could maybe take him.
Yeah,
Shannon Sharpe's
a big guy. Yeah. But yeah, they how that whole thing. I mean, I guess from what I was reading, and of course this is all like me and you analysis, like comment sections saying that Sharpe was harsh on him and whatnot. He's an analyst. That's what they do.
Yeah,
and that could have been a tough, really, really tough pill to swallow for DK if Pittsburgh recovers that fumble, because he's not going to hear it from just Sharpe. He's going to hear it from everyone.
Exactly. And I mean, Sharpe has done something in his life. I'm going to shit on DK Metcalf, and I'm sitting in your basement right now. Like, that was just a dumb play to make.
It was a stupid
Go out of
play.
Bounds, stop the clock.
Yep. Yeah, and I think what Sharpe called it was, you're trying to be hero. Like, you're going to run through the guy and get into the end zone. And yeah, I mean, that whole sequence, he's lucky it panned out the way that it did.
Absolutely.
So we're going to move on to Monday Night Football headline. Derrick Henry ruined my Monday night.
Ooh. I think there's a little chatter in the group chat about me saying the Bills run defense might not be that good. They haven't really played a good running team. And you said, we're going to find out Monday night.
And we did.
We found out.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's a monster.
Is that a fair assessment, though, against Derrick Henry? Like, does anybody really stop him?
No.
And historically, McDermott has. He's kept them under 100 in like three or four games they've played them.
What did he finish? 176
or
something like that?
Yeah, 3 touchdowns.
He had that
huge run.
90-yard run, whatever it was. Yeah. But yeah, he was a monster.
20 for 143, 3 touchdowns.
Okay, that's what. Yeah.
Against the top 3 run defense.
Yep. Yeah. Well, again, I think those numbers were inflated a little bit just because the Bills' competition. And no good run offenses they really played against other than the Chiefs, who are somehow top 15. But Derrick Henry is just a monster. And imagine what they'd do if they had Taylor Lewan. Unbelievable.
I forgot to put that in my notes, but did you remember that guy's name?
Chris Ballard.
Chris Ballard from Fox Sports.
I don't know what station
he's
on.
It's First Things First.
He shouldn't be on any station after
First Things First is the name of the show on FS whatever.
Yeah.
And if you guys didn't see this, I'm pretty sure I shared it on the Facebook page. They're doing the round table in the morning on First Things First, and he says that the reason Allen didn't get in on the 4th down play was because Taylor Lewan got hurt, who is an offensive lineman for the Titans.
And he went off about it for a good 30 or 40 seconds
and
about
then said,
Lewan's a stud.
And then calls Deion Dawkins a nobody.
Yeah.
Who's like a Pro Bowler.
Yeah. It was not a good look. He should stick to the NBA. He should just, that
was brutal.
Thing. He should not talk football anymore.
Beasley gets involved finally, which made me happy because I was so sick of all of these like vaccine articles about him saying that he didn't they're phasing him out because he's not vaccinated. Blah, like it was just the dumbest, like the craziest shit you could think of.
Yeah, I actually
People were writing.
I had captained him on one of my DK teams for the night, the showdown mode, just because I knew, Beasley's due for a game.
He is, and he had a good one.
Yep.
So that was nice to see. Also interesting stat: the Bills are 0-3 when Josh Allen catches a pass.
Quit throwing it to him.
Yeah,
Which I will say, there's another thing. Dawson Knox with the broken hand.
still
That
hucked it.
was a dead duck, but man, it worked.
It worked.
The
Yeah,
Billy special. I love. I
I
don't know who came up with it, but the Billy special.
the
Love
Billy
it.
special. Yeah, going for it on fourth down.
I didn't dislike it. I didn't love it. I think Kylie said that he was pretty in love with the call. Lewis Reddick at the end of the game is just gushing about how much he loved the call. And I think to myself, how can you love the call when you lost the game?
Well, I think a couple things. First of all, Kylie even put in the chat, and I was looking up stuff about this too. 13 for their last 13. Fourth and one, Allen up the middle.
Yep.
It's worked 13 times in a row.
And he kind of
So-
slipped.
He did slip. I mean, that 98 from the Titans came barreling through too. He made a nice play, but I'm for it. It's a long season. They're pretty comfortable where they're at with that division, like winning.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I mean,
the division's locked
right.
up, basically.
So I think they were looking at like big picture. We don't think this game is going to come back to haunt us. Could it? Sure.
It could.
Because the Titans are probably going to win that division too.
Yeah.
More than likely. I couldn't imagine any of the other, unless the Colts would be the only team that if they got red hot somehow, they could give them a run for their money. But no, I'm for the call. I think it was the way to go in that route. I mean,
I can see the logic. The only thing I didn't love about it is when I look at the AFC right now, the Bills should crush that division. They should go 6-0 in the division. You've already got a win over the Chiefs, who, albeit they're in last place, I think they're going to be there at the end. I'm thinking the Bills are looking like the 1 seed in the AFC right now. You're the better team. The Titans have not been very impressive.
Yeah.
The game flow wasn't very good. I kind of personally would say kick the field goal. You're the better team. Beat them in overtime. But with the goofy rules, first score wins, I can understand.
Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking about it too, is maybe McDermott was like, I don't want my defense to try and have to stop Derrick Henry again.
Yeah,
and if
'cause
they
they
win the
had-
toss, they take the ball.
Yeah.
That's what you're up against. And he was just having a night. It was just one of those nights where he was on, he was warm, he was loose, and the Bills defense was struggling with him.
Yep. I mean,
So maybe it was like, hey, let's just try and win this now, get on the plane and go home.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible at all. Didn't dislike it. I don't think I loved it because you could have took your chances. But yeah, I mean, I saw some Bills fans just, going nuts, trashing it. The Bills are terrible, and I'm thinking,
that's what they do.
well, that's not.
They're
that's a little bit of an overreaction.
They're a sensitive
that
group,
way.
man. They've been through a lot.
I can tell. One loss. Oh,
Right.
season.
So some other notes, just real quick, I'm going to read through. Bengals continue to impress. 23-point win over the Lions. They look good. Bengals
Yeah.
are low-key a good football team this season.
Well, again, Kylie was on that one. I kind of thought maybe they were a year away. I said they could surprise some people, but yeah, they're looking.
Chiefs bounce back with a 31-13 win over Washington, which everybody knows the Chiefs are going to come back. They're going to be in the playoff race. They're going to be in.
I think that's.
They're
kinda
not going to just go away.
I think that was one of the mailbag questions.
Yeah,
We'll probably
it's
get to
just-
that later. But
yeah, they're
you know,
just too good of a team.
Aaron Rodgers, relax. Just,
Right.
they'll get
Chill
it.
out,
And
yeah.
their losses aren't. You lost to the Chargers. You lost to the Ravens, which you didn't lose if Clyde doesn't fumble the ball.
Right.
And you got pounded by the Bills, but it's not like the Bills are scrubs. So
Yeah, the Raiders respond after the Gruden departure with a 34-24 win over Denver.
Yep.
Derek Carr had a nice game. And the Cowboys moved to 5-1 with an OT win over the Patriots.
It pains me to say it, but I think the Cowboys are.
I think they're
Pretty
good
darn
too,
good.
but I don't know, some of the teams I think
Well,
they
they
should be
have,
pounding, they're not.
Yep, exactly.
So time will tell on that. All right, we're going to move into some NCAA. Not a whole lot to go over. There was three of the top 10 teams were on an off week. But my favorite part of the weekend should be just about everybody's who's in our area. Number 2, Iowa, just gets their asses kicked by Purdue 24-7.
just amazing.
What's funny is it bumps them out of the top 10.
Did it really?
All the way out.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me make sure.
Well, maybe
Yes.
they can storm the field the next
Well,
game.
it was like I talked with California about, because he's big Penn State, so he's my go-to to talk to Penn State about, and we both agreed that somebody coming up would beat them. I think I said Indiana, which I think is who they. No, Penn State plays Indiana. I can't remember whoever Iowa plays next, because I remember looking at their schedule, and I definitely bypassed Purdue, but they did me the honor of doing what I requested. And James was saying that he thinks that the AP is just waiting for this to happen so they can boot Iowa out of the top. Because
I agree. Yep.
Again, we talked about it last week. Kylie and I did. If Clifford's healthy,
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
that
that's
game's not even close. They're already out of the top.
That
10.
kid that came in for him was just
Robeson.
terrible.
It was
whatever. I don't want to know his name.
It
Because we'll
wasn't
probably never
great.
hear it again. He was not good.
It wasn't great. Number 3, Cincy,
Yep. Still rolling.
who is now number 2, but we'll get to the rankings in a second. 56-21 over UCF. They have to kick everybody's ass.
Yep.
They have to. And so far, so good.
Yep.
One of my favorite headlines from the weekend. Kentucky's J.J. Weaver. This is in no way at all a knock on J.J. Weaver. It's a knock on ESPN because they're stupid.
Horrible.
Kentucky's J.J. Weaver has 6 functional fingers on his right hand. He has an additional finger that works, just like all of his other ones. He actually went to, which this amazed me in and of itself, he went to a school to give a speech to a class who's taught by a teacher who has an additional finger and has 2 students who have additional fingers. Apparently, this is far more common than I knew about.
Where is that school at? Because there must be some sort of like nuclear waste in the water.
It was a good special though. Like it was really, touching, listening to him talk to the kids who talk about, being picked on for it and stuff like that. And I think that that's awesome that they have somebody now, that they can look up to and all that. But the horrible headline is ESPN says J.J. Weaver was born with 6 fingers, but it hasn't stopped him from playing the game he loves.
Yeah, that made no
sense.
sense.
How the fuck would it stop him?
Yeah,
in fact, there was somebody on the show who was doing like some analysis said that they've spoke to him and it actually helps him grip a football.
That's what I was
He's
saying.
a linebacker. He doesn't need to, but he says so Jim Abbott.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he
overcame Shaquem Griffin.
Shaquem Griffin. Now I couldn't think of his name.
Overcame something that would prevent you from being great in this. So ESPN, terrible headline, but JJ Weaver is a good story, and I think the whole thing with him talking to the kids and everything, that's cool. Especially being that he's a college kid too. It's not like
absolutely
he's not incredibly older than them, and he's using all of this to better the story for the kids and everything else. So
I think anyone who hasn't seen it needs to look at the picture because I actually thought it was a Photoshop fake thing. It's a real life,
and they make him a glove.
Finger. Yeah,
he has a glove.
It's
that they have to make for him.
It looks like it's supposed to be there and everything. So I don't know how that's a difficulty you overcome.
Right? Yeah, it was just a terrible headline. I had to note on it because I saw it and I was just like, "What the fuck are you guys even talking about?"
Well, it's ESPN.
Correct.
They should ask LeBron what he thought.
I'm surprised he did. Yeah, surprised he didn't chime in on it. Everything else. Edo and LSU reach an agreement to part ways after the season.
I love
so that'll be me too. But there's a lot of indifferences about this whole thing because there's alleged sexual assault cover-ups and basically one of the things I read was it was like if you want Coach O to coach your team, you have to have a team of people to keep an eye on them and watch them and make sure. Yeah. So
he's super old school,
I guess, that could be a huge part to do with it.
But he just doesn't see a problem with what he's doing, even if there's a problem there. So
I can appreciate that to a point.
Yeah.
But when you're,
you can't do that.
You can't do the stuff with the kids and crime. You can't be covering that shit up. But
unacceptable.
If he wants to grab a dude by a face mask and drag him around the field, I'm all for that.
Yep.
Top 10, just to cap it up real quick. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Cincinnati. Number 3, Oklahoma, who got a boost now from Caleb Williams, a new quarterback, freshman. Spencer Rattler has been benched, which we will get to in the things that sting, because now we have some NIL issues because he's getting paid all this money.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting.
Play better.
Right. Number 4, Bama. Number 5, Ohio State. Michigan jumps Penn State. Somehow they were both off. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but number 7, Penn State. Number 8, Oklahoma State. Number 9, Michigan State. And number 10, Oregon. So that wraps up the college football for the weekend. We do have one comment. Let's see. Tori says, whoa. It doesn't really help us with the what are you woeing, Tori? Help us out here.
My beautiful mustache.
It could be Honorati's mustache. Or maybe he just tuned in and saw your face, and that's what he's woeing about. It actually could be it.
Not only does everyone have to listen to my voice, they got to look at me, too. It's a terrible week.
So the next headline, this is where we miss Kylie the absolute most. He is our baseball guy.
I am not the baseball
You're
guy.
not the baseball guy. So I'm just going to go over a few things real quick. ALCS we'll start with. Interesting what I found out. Swing Juice, who we're partnered with, I'm pretty sure their owner-founder is a big Boston guy. Maybe from there, maybe.
So the sponsorship's going to be lost.
Well, it could be. It could be because I don't know. I had Astros stuff on. Actually, I could just tell everybody. I had an Astros helmet on, but my headphones wouldn't fit over. So I had to take it off. But, yeah, after the game 1 win, the Astros get pummeled in games 2 and 3. What is it? First inning. Yeah, first inning of game 2, JD Martinez hits a grand slam, and then the second inning, Rafael Devers hits a grand slam. It's 8-0 after the second inning. So they go on to lose game 2. Game 3, Schwarber hits a grand slam in the second. It's 9-0 after 3 innings. So those were 2 really fun games to watch. Also, I was kidding. Also, I'm not for that. It was not fun to watch. And meanwhile, while that's happening on one TV, the Bills are losing a game on the other for Monday Night Football.
That was right. You said
fantastic.
You said grand slam right as Derrick Henry broke that giant run, and that's like there's a grand slam.
Yeah, it wasn't great. So then what do? I open my mouth on the Facebook page.
I'm looking forward to this.
And I say, if the Astros win this series, because I was so convinced that they would not. And this happened. This post came up during game 4. Because during game 4, Astros score 1 in the first. I can't remember. I think Altuve or somebody hit a homer or something happened. And then, of course, the Red Sox answer right back. I think Xander Bogaerts hits one. It's 2-1. I'm like, yeah, there's just no way that these guys are red hot right now. Well, then the game ends up being a close one. Astros tie it up 2-2. And then in the 9th, plate 7 runs. They win 9-2. I was like, oh. So this is after. Well, let me rewind. Prior to the win in game 4, I was so convinced that the Astros had no chance of winning this series that I put a post on the Facebook page that says, I will not, if the Astros win this series, I will not make fun of the Yankees for an entire year.
I don't think you can do it.
Well, I'm not out of the woods yet.
You're rooting for Boston.
I'm not rooting for Boston. No. I'd rather the Astros go to the World Series and not make fun of the Yankees for a year.
Okay.
That's going to be hard, though.
So, like, even if the Astros go to the World Series and they lose,
I still can't. I said win this series.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Specific to
you're
Boston.
okay with the Astros going and losing, and then you lose a year of making fun of the Yankees? Or do they need to win it all to make you feel good?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough question.
Because that's kind of like rough. You can't make fun of the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, it would sting more if the Astros make the World Series, don't win, and then I can't make fun of the Yankees for a year.
That's what I'm saying. That's a double burn.
That would suck way worse. But, yeah, then the Astros, so they win game 4, smoke them in game 5. Framber Valdez pitched a gem, and series goes to 3-2, and they're back to Houston for game 6 and 7 if necessary. So, yeah, I might. Yankee fans, you might not have to listen to me say shit for an entire year, but we'll see what happens. They still got to win one, and the Red Sox, despite their terrible efforts at the plate in games 4 and 5, we saw what they're capable of in games 2 and 3. So I'm not totally convinced that I will not be able to make fun of the Yankees for a year, but we'll see. Just a short bit on the NLCS. Like I said, we're missing the baseball guy. This is where Kylie comes in with all sorts of good numbers and stuff, and I just sit here listening, like learning. It's good shit. The Braves walk off game 1 and 2, lose game 3, win game 4. They blew a lead in game 3. That series could be over. They gave up, 4 runs in the eighth inning? 4 runs in the 8th inning of game 3, caps a 6-5 comeback for the Dodgers. Otherwise, that series is done. But yeah, the Braves, they won last night, and I think game 5's tonight.
I would assume.
I think it's 8:07, so just right before NFL kickoff. So yeah, that's what we got. I did have a comment I am going to put up here from Bobby Pring because he knows we don't have a hockey guy. However, I did talk to K-Fish the Dish yesterday, and I think she's probably in. So we're just going to like link her in video. She'll be right on the screen for everybody to see, and we'll be able to have her give us like a 5 to 10 minute hockey update.
Perfect.
About whatever the hell is going on.
All
in that
the
league.
Canadians that tune in are going to be so happy.
But Bobby Pring, Sabres surprisingly start 3-0.
I did see that was like,
which is weird.
Only their 5th time in history or
Who
something.
knows? But it's amazing that they are 3-0. And he also noted that my team, the Kraken,
yep.
are 1-3-1, which is good because I didn't know that. I'm not a very good fan yet.
You're working on it.
I'm working on it. But as of right now, I knew that they lost their first game, and I knew they played at Nashville the night me and Kylie recorded episode 30.
Yep.
But other than that, I had nothing. I didn't know what they were doing. So where are we at here? Let me get rid of a banner, and we will wrap up opening. That's all I got. You got anything else you want to say for opening segment?
Don't think so.
No more reactions from the weekend? Anything we forgot?
Oh, one important note. No one on the 49ers got hurt this week. That's been the first time in 5 weeks.
Did they play?
No.
Okay.
No. So no one got hurt at practice.
No one got hurt at practice.
Things are looking up for us.
Things are looking up. All right, this week's opening segment is brought to you by Napoli's Hungry Watching the Game. Call Napoli's 814-723-7455. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., located in North Warren. We're going to take a couple-minute break here, and we'll be back with This Week in Sports History.
Hungry? Watching the game? Order some Napoli's Pizza, voted the best pizza in the Times Observer Reader's Choice every year. Homemade, hand-tossed, delicious hot pizza, stromboli, salads, subs, and so much more. Located in North Warren, come on in or call 814-723-7455 and ask about our specials. Pickup or delivery available 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Again, that's 814-723-7455.
Hi, this is Brian Hagberg, and I wanted to take a moment and tell you about our new website, YourDailyLocal.com. Your Daily Local is your new home for news, sports, and events in Warren County and beyond. Our goal is to cover the people, places, events, and happenings that matter to you in a variety of ways, including writing, video, and audio. And the best part? All of our content is available for free. Head to YourDailyLocal.com to get the news you need when you need it.
Let's take a look back at this week in sports history.
This week in sports history is brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. So it's been brought to my attention that we might be cutting in and out a little bit. I don't know how to fix that. What I can tell you is that the power was flickering earlier. I mean, it is kind of storming in and around the area. It's dark out now, so I can't tell what the hell's going on. But if we are cutting in and out, just keep letting us know. Hopefully the audio and everything that remains recorded will be able to be uploaded normally and everything like that. So, all right, we're going to get on to our sports history. We're starting in 1885,
A couple years ago.
a few years back. Baseball set salaries for all players at $1,000 to $2,000 for all players.
Well, that's probably a big chunk of change back then.
It was. Funny you asked. I looked this shit up, right? It was 28,000 to 56,000.
I mean, that's pretty good for what they were probably drawing in 1885.
Well, 56,000 back then. Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good chunk of money.
Yeah, you got a good.
Yeah,
You're living large,
exactly.
right?
Yep.
So I'm going to cross these off this week so I don't get confused. So we're moving on to 1923. Ban Johnson persuades American League owners to prohibit boxing in their parks. The NL would not jump on board with this, so he was the American League president. He cited unsavory characters involved in the boxing world as why he didn't want them in their ballpark.
Unsavory character.
Right.
Was this like just a few years after the White Sox, the Black Sox?
Right,
scandal?
yeah. 1919. Yeah, exactly. 4 years.
Unsavory
Yeah.
characters in boxing.
You have an entire team throwing a World Series, but 4 years later, them boxers, man.
No,
Sons of bitches.
can't be trusted.
They can't. All right, 1947. Radio rights for the World Series sells for $475,000 over 3 years. Ready?
Yep.
$5.5 million.
So that's pretty good.
That's still cheap, like by today's standards.
Yeah.
Like you ain't selling the rights to anything. FIFA is having it out with EA Sports right now about FIFA World Cup, and they want $1 billion for it, for the rights to make the game.
No kidding.
Right. I was going to put that a little bit about that in the things that sting. Then I remembered fucking don't care about soccer,
Well,
and I don't play FIFA.
EA Sports are absolute criminals anyway.
They are criminals.
They get everyone to do that.
Correct.
Whatever. You buy the card and yeah, they're making so much money they don't know what to
They make enough off Madden.
do. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. All right, we're on to 1962. Oh, this is something I'm going to be doing a lot over the next 24 hours.
Oh boy.
The Yankees appear in 12 of the last 14 World Series as of 1962 and win 9. You know what that means?
What's that?
They lost 3.
Bums.
Yeah, terrible. So I have to take my shots at the Yankees while I can, just in case this Astros thing comes true, and then I'm not allowed to make fun of them anymore.
I'm surprised it's not the whole list tonight.
I should have done that. That
In
would have
retrospect.
been great. Yeah.
Blew it.
Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll hold like emergency press conference, just spit some Yankee hate for like 15 minutes, and then
I'll tune in.
I understand. I'll have to do it mid game though,
Yeah, well, like
because once that series is over, that's when the clock starts.
You go live.
We should do a countdown somewhere.
You could be like Portnoy, go right on the Instagram live.
Emergency press conference. Yeah. All right. So that was number 4, right? We're on to number 5, 1969. 100-1 shot. New York Mets. This one's for Stewie. Beat the Orioles 5-3 and win the 66th World Series in 5 games. So they were 101 shot to win. That's some smoking odds if you bet
That's
them.
what I was thinking. You made a little bit of money on that.
Yeah, but here's my real question. I mean, so I don't know a whole lot about the Orioles or their history or anything really about them. But
Other than Cal
I didn't know that they were ever good.
Yeah, right.
Apparently they were.
Yeah, must have been.
69 they were in the show, but lost to a extreme underdog.
Yeah,
100 to 1.
Yep.
All right, we're going to move on to 1980. Is that where I'm at? Yeah, 1980.
oh boy.
George Brett is forced out of the World Series with hemorrhoids.
Well,
It's cold ballparks.
yeah, it is.
Metal benches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So is that what causes that sometimes?
I had no idea.
I don't either.
I couldn't tell you.
Do we have any hemorrhoid experts on here? Because I'm curious. He missed a World Series for those. They had to have been painful.
Yeah, it could have been
Because you
good.
could play through a lot of things.
Yeah, like George Brett's a tough guy.
And George Brett was, he was a tough guy. Like that guy, he was ready to fight anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for hemorrhoids. He lost that battle. Took him out of the.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder if they won that World Series. I should have looked more into that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad I didn't because I don't want to
Yeah. Well, I don't. Yeah.
like
Exactly.
stuff about hemorrhoids in my Google history. But yeah, knocked him out of the World Series apparently. All right, we're going to move on to number 7. We're in 1989. An earthquake in San Francisco registers 6.9 on the Richter scale, cancels Game 3 of the World Series, and 67 people were killed.
Yep. Knew about that
So
one.
that's just like, I mean, that's already been on the list, so I'm not going to say add it to the list,
Yeah.
but just reasons California sucks.
Correct. I actually think I want to say that kind of affected a Niners game, if I remember correctly.
That same,
That same earthquake. I don't remember. Not during the game or anything.
Right,
I can't. I think
but
there was an issue.
maybe
with the
move-
stadium.
yeah.
I can't remember. I can't remember for sure, but I feel like that's a real
like,
thing.
I just don't understand why people want to live there. I mean, I have family
but-
there,
Yeah.
but they live in a cool place. But there's always like wildfires and
yeah.
earthquakes and government.
Yeah. Government. Correct.
A lot of
I mean,
shitty,
if I could go back in time,
a lot of terrible things.
when I chose the Niners in 1995, if I could only go back now and say, "Don't do it, man. You're never going to go to a game," because I don't think I'm ever going to go to California. Not for
By
me.
choice.
Not by choice. Yeah.
Okay. I got you. All right, we're on to number 8. Is 1997. A New York jury awards boxer Mitch Green $45,000 in a civil lawsuit against Mike Tyson for a street brawl in 1988. What do I always say about Mike Tyson?
What do you always say about
That
Mike
he's
Tyson?
he's always in sports
well,
history.
He is. Yeah.
Weekly.
Yeah.
I find something on that guy.
Well, he's led quite the life.
He
You
has.
know, he's
He really has. Because Kylie would know right away.
Yeah.
He's like, there's Mike Tyson in
Yep.
sports history again. He's always showing up, and it's never anything good.
no.
No,
Nope.
he
no.
never is. Yeah, I wish they would put something in there about like when he won a match or something, just so we could
Yeah,
at least.
Well, after he lost his trainer there, I can't think of his trainer's name, but after he passed away, that was kind of like a father figure to him. Then he really went off.
That's when he went off the
Yeah,
deep end.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, we're on to number 9. Tom Brady. I did this for you.
Thanks, bud.
2009. Tom Brady throws 5 second quarter touchdowns against the Titans, an NFL record for one quarter. But you think he's a fraud?
Against the Titans in 2009, what was their record? Like 1
No.
15?
They would have been pretty good because they started the previous season was when I lived in Tennessee, and they started the season 13-0.
Who? Well, I guess that was like when Jeff Fisher was. Well, no, that had to be after Jeff Fisher.
I don't know who was coaching.
I'm trying to think who their quarterback would have been then. Vince Young?
Yeah.
Or is that- or am I a little-
No. When they went 13-0, who was their quarterback? When did McNair quit or die?
It's a great question. I can't remember now. I don't think McNair could have been there because he was the Rams Super Bowl, and that was like 2000.
Okay. Yeah,
I
I don't know.
honestly
We'll
don't
have
know who would
to.
have been-
That's something we'll have to look
Yeah,
up
we need to
too.
research that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Either way, Tom Brady sucks.
Fact. All right, last one, number 10. 2012. Lance Armstrong loses a host of endorsements in the wake of his doping scandal.
That's just a real sad story. A couple documentaries on that, both real good. But yeah, that's just
Yeah, I saw a really funny tweet this week that it was Chargers played the Ravens. So the hyphenated thing was LAC-BAL. So it said lack ball.
Oh no.
And somebody tweeted, been really meaning to ask Lance Armstrong his take on this game. Because if there's anybody who knows about lack ball, it's Lance Armstrong.
That's kind of messed up.
It was
It's
horribly funny.
It's
Yeah.
funny.
I mean, it was funny though.
I like
If
it.
you have a sense of humor, you laugh. So, all right, that wraps up this week in sports history. This week in sports history is brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. We're going to take a couple minute break here and we will be right back.